getting married. And he saved up well for the suit that he was going to be married in, and it came from the tailor, and he looked at it, and he admired it, and he put it back in the brown paper, and he wrapped it up and put it in the dresser. Until the night before his wedding, he took it out, and for the first time he thought he perhaps should try it on. And so he put on the shirt that he'd also bought and the suit jacket over, and he began to pull up the trousers. And he had them well up at his waist, but his feet were still stuck in the end of the legs. And he pulled them up, and it was about this much too long. And I said, oh, mother, what am I going to do? My wife-to-be, oh, she'll be so affronted if I stand in the church with all these long bits hanging down at my ankles. What on earth am I going to do? And his mother said, well, you know, take a pair of scissors and make yourself a hem. I can't do that, Mother. Could you do it tonight? I don't have time, she said, because his mother was busy with the baking, getting the house all spick and span for the wedding and all the guests that were to come. And he said to his older sister, will you do it? And she said, oh, brother, I can't do it. I'm busy helping Mother. And he said to his wee 10-year-old sister, will you do it? She said, look, big brother, I haven't even properly learned to sew more than a few squares of a blanket. I couldn't possibly do it. You'll have to do it yourself. He said, oh, I just don't know what I'm going to do. But it was late into the night, and they all went to bed, and he just was so worried about what was going to happen the next day. And while he slept, his mother woke up and just felt really sorry for her son. And so she came downstairs, and she pulled out the parcel, and she cut off the bit that she just remembered that was a bit too long, and she sewed up a beautiful new seam. And then she folded it all away and put it all back in the dresser, and she went back to bed really content. And a little while later, the oldest sister woke up, and she just felt so bad. She felt so bad that she had not agreed to do the job. So she got up and she took out the trousers, and she tried to, oh yeah, it was a bit that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was like that. So she cut the legs off the trousers, and she made a very, very pretty seam, and she folded them away and put them back in the parcel again. And she went back to bed really content, and she just knew her brother would be so delighted when he saw it in the morning. And then the young sister, she came downstairs, and she was thirsty anyway, and she had a glass of water, and then she looked at the parcel, and she knew it was going to be so embarrassing for her husband, her brother, you know, to be the husband of this woman, and then you know, it would never be forgotten that this man got married in trousers that were hanging down over his ankles. So she took them out, and she thought, it was about this. And she held them up, and she put them against herself, and she said, ach no, she said, it must be a bit more. So she cut another chunk off and put them under the dresser again. And so the next morning, they all came running down the stairs, and they're all going to say, you know, yeah, you're going to put on your suit? Yeah. So he had his breakfast, and then, yeah, I'm going to put it on, and nobody said anything to anybody. And he put on his jacket and his shirt, and then he pulled up his trousers. And you know, that kind of length. What's happened? And they looked at each other, and they all realised that secretly they had all done the same thing. But of course they'd all done the same thing 3 times, and it meant that he had very short trousers, which would be even worse for getting married in. So they all had to run round all the cottages and see if anybody had a decent pair of trousers that he could get married in. And he did. And nobody minded. But in the book, there's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful image by Tatty. It's just perfect, you know. And you know, since the minute it's, if you're desperate to know where it is, it's on page 155 of the copy in your pew. Yeah. So, yeah, the minute I saw this in the archive, I'm just wetting myself really. And as I was writing it, you know, just putting it into my own words, I just loved it. And then when I saw Tatty's illustration, I thought, yeah, this is just great, you know. So anyway, that's the one that I called the long and the short of it. So.